Hello, guys. If you're new here, welcome to Life with Courage, where we talk about lifestyle, we talk about marriage, we talk about parenthood, we talk about food, we talk about business, we talk about counseling. In fact, we talk about everything that has to do with a human being. Here with me is a new face. If you're not new on this channel, you have seen this face, but he has never introduced himself officially. So here is my husband, and he is here as a guidance counselor. Yes, because we'll be talking about things related to the mind, to behavior, to emotions, and everything. And I am also a guidance counselor for those who do not know. And what has inspired this video is the rise in suicides. Because recently we saw a video of a man jumping over a bridge in Nigeria, and that triggered something in us. What could have caused this? Also, we saw another video of a man who hanged himself in the West region in Cameroon. We would like to know why a lot of men are getting into such situations, why the suicide has increased, or it has always been there and people have not taken it seriously. So we'll be talking about mental health in African men. So stay glued to this video. But before I go, let me introduce him. I'll let him do the introduction. So tell my viewers who you are.
Okay, hello everyone. It's my first time to come on here, but I've been wanting to do this for a long time. So, my name is Jude. Because I'm supposed to present myself. My name is Jude. I am the husband of this very beautiful madam here, and I'm a guidance counselor, father of a very beautiful princess, and I don't know what else to say.
That one is enough. It's enough. Too much information will kill the vibe. So stay glued because you're definitely going to learn a lot about mental health in African men. So last month was Mental Health Awareness Month. That's the month of October. That's why we decided to do this video. We had to do this video a long time ago, but things happen. And what was the theme?
The theme for last month's mental health awareness was making mental health and well-being a global priority.
Exactly. And we want to specifically talk about mental health of African males, because whenever they bring on mental health, we think only about adolescents or women. And even if men are mentioned, they're just mentioned in passing. It's not really dug deep. But we want to focus on that today to also shine a light on the males in Africa and for others to see that their mental health is also as important as every other person and should be taken into consideration. So my husband will be defining what mental health is.
Okay, thanks, B. Actually, we talk about mental health just to make it so academic. We just like make it simple. We're basically talking about everything that enables a human being or an individual to feel emotionally balanced, um, psychologically balanced also, and everything that goes towards making that person feel okay within his community or within the society. Basically, that's what we're talking about. So there's the emotional part, and there's the psychological aspect of it. That's basically all about it. And we'll come now to talk about news with respect to mental health. Now, the main issue is the the lack of willingness for males to really, you know, admit that okay, probably there's a mental health issue
Yeah, they
here.
don't want to open up.
Yes, they don't want to open up or talk about those kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. And one thing also about mental health is that it's just like the body, physically, huh? Because if you are maybe having fever or you're having a cold, obviously you're not feeling fine. Yes, with mental health is the same thing. If your emotions are all over the place, maybe you are like on a roller coaster of emotions. Today you're on cloud nine, very happy. tomorrow you are like at the bottomless pit, and so on, just up and down. That is an aspect of mental health. Yes, of poor mental health. Just the same as you might having a fever today, and then maybe 2 3 days after that you're fine.
Is it like mood swings?
Yes,
That
mood
one
swings.
second you are extremely happy, the next second you are extremely sad.
Voila. Mood swings are kind of indicators. The frequent mood swings are kind of like indicators of poor mental health or mental health issues which need to be resolved. Yes. So that's basically it.
And are there statistics of mental health in males in Africa? Like, is it high compared to the global statistics, or it is the same? What are the
Okay.
statistics?
So firstly, um, numbers show that the access to mental health, we start from there, access to mental health in Africa is kind of lower because we have fewer mental health practitioners. We have a lot of quacks, a lot of persons who go on
Who
Facebook,
pose as
pose as psychotherapists who have no business doing that, and claim to give therapy. Meanwhile, they're just giving, so most of the time, detrimental advice. They call themselves a marriage coach or relationship expert, and so on and so forth. So the access is not really the best. That's the first thing. And why is that? Because there are not enough trained professionals, and the few who are there are kind of let's say out of the budget range of
sure.
so many people.
Yeah, it's money to access such
Yes,
services. Unfortunately, that's the thing, because you train for such skills and you need to be paid for your skills.
definitely. And so with that also lack of accessibility goes now the issue of the perception, because I remember you mentioned like perception
Yeah.
of it. Yes, we talk about most of the time we talk about mental health, especially in Cameroon. What I've seen, you talk about children, adolescents in particular, but and then women generally. But when it comes to like the male aspects of mental health, it is kind of a bit left out there, and that's the reason why you have uh, issues that come up every now and then. Like you have somebody, like the video you mentioned. Yes, a man was threatening to jump off a bridge. He finally did. Unfortunately, that was a very very difficult video to
To
watch
watch.
for so many persons, you know. And the rumor going behind that was he discovered the children he had with his wife were not actually his biological children. I don't know how true that is, but that is the information that was circulating alongside that video. And that was just one. There are so many. There was of recent about 2 or 3 persons, males, still in the West region, who committed suicide, who also suicided because of one other reason or the other. Okay, now going back now to the issue of statistics that you
Yeah.
mentioned. Yes, um, we'll talk about suicide in the world. From 2019 data, we have an average of 11.2 suicides for every 100,000 men in 100,000 in Africa, as compared to 9.0 for a global for out of 100,000 globally. So I mean, when you look at Africa, Africa statistics are
That's
higher.
quite high for just Africa.
Yes, that's quite high for just Africa. Yes, it's true that African population is high too, but the problem is that we in Africa have the saying. We keep saying, "Oh, those are things like I will say in French. It's not les choses de blanc." That's what we say all the
Yes,
time.
we just push it under the bed,
We say it doesn't have anything to do with us,
neglect
but
it.
it is actually there. Okay, and then now when those things happen, we keep saying we will use many other reasons to explain them away. We say, okay, oh, the wife pushed him to eat,
Mhm.
oh, the family in law pushed him to eat, oh, this and that. No, 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 it doesn't really die with that. What is the cause? The cause is that males in Africa, and let me talk about Cameroon in particular, they tend to brush all those mental health wellness um, issues, yeah, under the rug, and many of us go through life without having to have some kind of terrible accidents or happenings occurring because of that. But on the other hand, there are so many people who stumble through life. That's as in they are having from one hurdle to the other because of that mental health. The other one is even those are those on the more luckier side. Those ones who have no means of coping, they actually maybe find themselves suiciding, or they get into drugs and alcoholism. And then you have the wife beaters too,
Mm.
and so on and so forth. Those are all manifestations of poor mental
Mental
health.
health.
Yeah.
So now, what do you think can be done to help improve mental health in males in particular?
Okay. Well, the first thing is what we are doing now. I mean, like talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Most of the times we don't talk about certain things. We like kind of it's not important. It's not important. Like if I take up my personal experience, most of the times when I'm out with friends and they want to bring up something like talking about mental health, like kind of we have a tendency to joke with it. Well, even me, I myself, have found myself in that kind of situation, like
Mm-hmm.
joking about those kind of things. I was like, no, that's nothing. Or we'll have a friend like kind of complaining like about something like maybe difficulty, like oh I can't make rent this month. I was like kind of don't you want to hang? Let me give you a rope. Take use the
Ah,
rope
those are some
and hang.
slangs we use as Africans, which is terrible. You push
Yeah,
somebody to actually commit that act, carry out that act unknowingly.
unknowingly. And the thing is that sometimes, or a good number of times, some of those things are cries for help, but we joke about it. And even when now talking about it, I remember certain of those, sometimes those things happening. It's funny, but the truth is that it actually is not, because behind that, like maybe 60% out of 100 of the time, 60 on 100 of the time, uh, it is something that is actually important that has to be looked into. Yes. So what can be done concretely? Talking about it, like I said, and then secondly, we have to paint a positive image of seeking help as far as males are concerned. Traditionally, we're brought up to be like kind of the top guys
Yeah,
of the house and everything. There's nothing wrong in being a top guy. Because me, I know that if a man is the head of the family,
that's true. That's what we know in
yeah,
Africa.
and being the head of the family means that you're carrying a lot of responsibility and you're always supposed to be at the forefront. You have to meet up with deadlines.
Yeah.
You have to pay bills. You have to provide. You have to do this so long. And then there is nothing wrong in that, but the problem is a tough person seeks help. That is one thing which we all need to know as African males. Being tough doesn't mean that you can do it all alone. No, being tough simply means that you're able to recognize when you have a shortcoming and seek the help that you need. And if it goes to the point of seeking the services of a therapist, a trained professional therapist, mind you, I'm not talking about
Those quacks.
those quacks in YouTube. Yes, I will not refrain from using the word quack, because I mean, the damage that if a fake therapist can do to someone who needs and mental health intervention is equal to or even twice as worse as the same damage that an untrained physician can inflict to someone who comes maybe with a physical ailment. Yes, so it is the same exact thing, and that is why it is important for us to have trained therapists. So we have to like make it in such a way that we can all have that good access to trained therapists also. And then let us not, as males, let's not like talk about mental health and joke with it, like kind of, especially those of us who maybe have like we have been pushed towards going for therapy session. Like for example, maybe you have a problem with maybe your spouse, and then you're like kind of no, must go for therapy, must go for therapy, and then you go now for therapy and you're like kind of, master, this thing is not working. Yes, that's also one thing that causes people not to want to. So we need to have a paint a positive image about therapy, especially therapy from professionally trained therapists.
Yeah.
No quacks. Yeah. In addition to all of that, I think that if we could make sure that it is a kind of adopted as a national policy. Why not? Like a national policy for mental health awareness, or like mental well-being awareness. You know, mental health awareness month was an international thing, and in Cameroon, I really want to give um, a shout out to all those non-governmental organizations that are doing a lot to, in their own way, to sensitize and talk about mental health awareness. But more needs to be done, especially at the level of national policy. Like sensitization campaigns and so on and so forth. Yes. So basically, I think that's
Guys,
about it.
that's a lot of information. That is very important information. So take the time to listen to everything that has been said, and I assure you, you're going to understand a little bit of what mental health is and how to manage it. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have not subscribed to this channel, please go down below and click the subscribe
Subscribe,
button.
subscribe, subscribe.
Please give a thumbs up to this video, and see you guys in our next video. Bye
Bye.
bye.